this facility and technology meeting on Wednesday, April 10th at 6:01 p.m. Roll call, Martin, for the roll call, we do have a quorum. And approval of the agenda, I would like to make a motion to add or modify the agenda before that. Some of the topics on the in facilities project updates are related to the secure vestibules. I'll leave it up to you guys whether we should put that in executive session or not. I'm just thinking out loud.
We have in the past. I don't know if we should continue.
Yeah, if the level of detail that's gonna be shared would jeopardize
Yeah,
that, then it would have to go
Not
into
really sure,
executive.
so
Yep.
you feel that's appropriate?
Yes.
All right, so we'll amend the agenda for item 6B3. Possible. Well, we'll do an executive session discussing,
You want it
Secure.
B4, Glenn?
I'm sorry?
You have B3 is bid updates, right? I'm sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know there was stuff on the back page. Yeah, B4.
you got it.
Before we bid updates or before we executive
No,
session?
before we do the executive session.
Okay.
Or do you want to do it at B3 and move bid down so we keep them together? Think that's better?
That's
All right,
what
we'll
I
do
was
B3
thinking.
and then bid updates will be B4. Fair enough?
Yep.
So I'll make that motion to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? See none, motion passed. So now do I do the approval of the agenda now that it's amended?
No, that just was.
That's fine.
Approval
Well,
of the
that's an
agenda.
approval to amend it. Do we do an approval to approve it?
Approve the amended agenda, yes.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Approval of the minutes.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So none, motion passed. Public participation. Do we have anybody on the public line?
There is not.
There is not, so we can skip section 5. Thank God. And we'll move on to item number 6, discussion next steps. Rachel, we'll start with you with technology and our social media update.
All right, so this month I did something a little bit different. I focused on Parent Square, and I wanted to do this because we had some posts go out this past week or so. You know, we had the closure of the weather, we had the earthquake that, you know, shook
Just a couple
everyone.
little things.
Sandy.
It shook everyone. Ha, ha, ha. You like that fun?
You also said cough.
So, for the first slide, the Torrington Public School District Parent Square alert. So there's an option to send an alert as well as there is to send a post for something. So an alert and a post went out for the earthquake situation. This is the stats of the earthquake alert. So you can see out of the 6,558 users, there were 6,317 notified and just under 300 unreachable. And if you look a little further down for some details, some of them are just like bounced back emails and text messages, things of that sort. So somebody updates their phone number, email address, you know, those are gonna bounce back. But overall, a really good reach to our parents and guardians. When we did the alert for the closure, it was just an alert and not a post. So I spoke with the person who manages the alerts for Parent Square, and we agreed that we should probably do both, because a post will show up on the parent's feed when they open the app. That's how it's done in my son's district, and I really like that because sometimes you just miss the push notification on your phone, you got a million emails coming in, so on. So I like having it as a post as well, because they can open the app and it's right there, you know, the message that you may have missed, and you can always go back to it. So that's what we're gonna be doing from here on out. I won't go into too much detail about the other schools, but I did show the interaction of each school. I will say that the middle school is the winner. Congratulations, Shelley, for interaction. She had over 1,000 interactions. And even, you know, just as an example, I said, you know, alert versus a post. So we alerted about the earthquake and we posted about the earthquake. And over 5,000 people saw the post, and even 66 people appreciated that post. So they're acknowledging and appreciating that we're sending out that notification to them. So yeah, just a little granular into Parent Square, because we've been doing Facebook for the past few meetings. Are there any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just quick, we're in the breakdown where it says volunteers, what does that mean?
So people can volunteer. You can post for volunteers like PTO. Things
So
of
those
that
are actual
sort.
volunteer, people
can
stepping up
sign
to
up.
volunteer to do things?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Those are really high numbers. That's great.
Jeff hit send 300 times.
Yeah.
I did.
He showed up for all 300 things.
I did. I created 300 different email addresses. I really started working on it.
Yep. Any other questions?
That was it for me.
Can I just say
That's a great question.
one quick thing?
No.
It's not a question. I just want to say, and I think I know what I'm talking about. This is right now, this year, this is in addition to what we've done in the past, right? Like this is in addition to the school messenger alerts. So if anybody says that we are not communicating, they're crazy. We are communicating in so many ways that it wouldn't surprise me if people are like, enough already, but you know, you can never over communicate in
Right.
this business. So once everybody gets adjusted to this, maybe we can sort of pull the reins back on
Right.
some of the older
Communications,
platforms.
right.
Yeah.
I have a quick question, and this is somewhat self-serving on the when you guys do the notifications, are we treated as an individual parent, or are parents treated as individuals for every child, or is it like you're one parent and you have children attached to you? Because my cell phone can sit on the counter and buzz itself off just because you get a phone call for each child, and I know that's just curious. I wasn't sure how it works in Parent Square, if you're a single entity with multiple kids or the opposite.
So it depends on the level of the post. So if it's posted to the district, then you'd get a post for each child. If it's for the school, say, you know, the middle school posts something, you're only gonna get one notification for the middle school and one for, say, Torrington or something like that. Like,
Okay.
you wouldn't get multiple posts for one school if both your children don't go to that school.
Got it.
Does that
That's
make
where the
sense?
D do. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Carry on.
Okay. So the damage breakdown, I guess the charger loss is kind of included in that. So I just included the three big damage situations. And I do want to point out that I should have made a correction to the THS numbers from, I believe it was a meeting or two ago. As I was looking deeper into these numbers for this meeting, it became apparent that there was a change in how things were being recorded while I was out at the high school. So in that previous meeting, I had reported a total of 36 damages. I guess I was being a little optimistic and thinking that, yay, we've finally curved it. However, the total damages for the high school is 148. Not terrible, but you know, that's for the whole year. And so the breakdown of that, screens, chargers, and unrepairable, you can see in the chart here. Screens tends to be the biggest, you know, it's just the biggest part of the machine, the biggest breakable part of the machine. But chargers, we did good at the high school. We did better in chargers this year at TMS than we had previous years, I will say, but numbers are still a little bit high. And then you can see the repairables as well, or unrepairables, excuse me.
That's a lot of broken stuff.
Yeah,
One-
so, you know, with the funds that are collected through the protection program and things like that, you know, we're able to buy replacement parts and, you know, get some of them back into circulation. And a lot of times we'll kind of cannibalize ones that are deemed unrepairable to fix other machines as well. So it's kind of the circle of life of a device.
I have a question. Can we get screen protectors for the middle school students? Would
We
that
could
help?
certainly
Is there
look
such a
into it,
thing?
but I'm not sure that it would help.
It
just
wouldn't help,
because of
okay.
how large the screen is. And I feel like a lot of the times it's you forgot that your pencil's on your laptop,
Oh,
you're
you-
running late, you close up your laptop and throw it in your backpack, you're running to your next class type of
Okay,
thing.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So a lot of times you'll see damages just like at the bottom of the screen where those types of things happen. But unfortunately, you know, especially with the MacBooks, they're glass, so it's, you know, important to get it repaired. You don't want anybody getting injured or
Right,
anything like
absolutely.
that.
I'm just,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is awesome. Thank you, Rachel.
Mhm.
This is, you add the 3 columns together, right, to get the total amount of, we'll call it damaged devices at TMS. So so is that really saying that there are, say, 550 damages out of the 1,000 kids in the first 2/3 of the year? This is good to know, just because that's crazy. Not from a student standpoint, that's 1 in every 2 children have a damaged device. We're not even 2/3 of the way through the school year.
Well, yes and no. So sometimes a device will have a repair more than once. So you have to take that into consideration as well. So one device could have their screen repaired 2 or 3 times, or one student may lose their charger 2 or 3
5
times.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that it would be fair to calculate it in
No,
that sense,
yeah, this
but
is general, but
yeah.
it's a pretty high percentage of the students who, at 2/3 of the way through the year, have had some type of a damage or claim to their piece of technology.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna, if I may ask a question, I think you mentioned it before, but the amount of monies that we're collecting from the insurance, extra insurance, is that covering? Or is there out-of-pocket expense for repairs from the district?
Well, so that, some of that money helps us with, our Apple Care expense. So every device has, for the high school, has Apple Care on it, which is an extra, I'm not certain exactly how much, I wanna say $100 to $200 per device. So it helps cover that for, you know, any of that expense, as well as screens and keyboards and things of that nature for Chromebooks. So that money, that's the purpose of us collecting it, was to go back into buying, you know, these replacement items so that we can bring these devices back to life.
Then you have what you said earlier, like pull parts off of old.
Right. So the ones that are deemed unrepairable often breathe life into other devices, whether it's, you know, harvesting a keyboard or a screen or anything like that.
Is the middle school on MacBooks?
Chromebooks.
So the highest part of repair is then the Apple Care, that really doesn't apply to that anyway.
Right, yeah. Chromebooks are relatively cheaper to fix, easier to fix. You don't need to be certified to fix them.
And is there additional monies collected for people that had damages that were malicious in nature? Are we able to
Yes,
recoup
so
any of
that was,
that from, hey, my kid smashed a computer, you know, we're
Mhm.
responsible? Or do people say it's not their fault?
well, that gets a little dicey.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like, oh, he knocked it out of my hands and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which I would typically refer to an administrator to, you know, help us narrow down behavioral situations.
Yeah.
But as for collecting for damages, that was part of the protection program. Before I took my leave, I was working on implementing an invoicing program. Unfortunately, that kind of slipped through the cracks, but I am working very hard to implement another one so that we can get everybody invoiced. And it's also going to help us better collect these numbers, notify administrators what these numbers are. So I really think that it's going to be beneficial to this whole project.
Any other questions? All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think that concludes your section, Rachel, correct? Is there anything else you'd like to
It
add?
does, yeah. I kind of did 2 in 1 there.
Yeah. Anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
If we're gonna go around for next meeting stuff, I
Yeah.
can wait till then, or you-
Okay.
yeah.
No, we'll wait for next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Facilities. Dean.
All right, okay, in the packet, you'll see, the revised 24-25 capital with the deletion of the turf that was in there from the last one. Nothing else was changed, that was removed. I think that's page, I don't know, it was just 15 of 16.
Dean, just for clarification, oh, never mind, it says, I had to scroll down. I like the last column where you have the reference to the, where in the facility study this
Yeah.
is being addressed.
Yeah, that helps me also.
Yeah. Yep. Nothing else changed except for taking off that million.
It was a pretty
Or
quick
1.1.
fix.
Yeah.
Took them hours and hours.
Yeah. So we had already approved it, right?
Superintendent, for those that weren't at the meeting, maybe give a synopsis as to why we're bringing this up again. We had to make one modification.
Absolutely. So when we presented this to the city, it was that one modification change where the turf field was in there and it shouldn't have been in there. And so to avoid any duplicate or rebuilding of it, we just took it out, and the Board of Finance thought that that was appropriate. And our board was kind enough to just say it was already approved, just make that one quick edit, and we did. And this just shows the corrected dollar amount with that removed. So it was just a quick little change. Nothing has changed. Dean still has his priority list from the study as well. So we're ready to rock and roll and look forward to getting going on those.
Yeah, so do we just need to move this forward to the full board then, or no?
It was made at that joint meeting decision that the full board, since it had already approved it, that once that edit was made and it didn't change the content of anything, that we
Yep.
did not need to move it again.
Okay, and now is this gone off to the Board of Finance? Are we done with it, or?
Haven't done anything.
This has to get sent to the, or Scott, we could continue.
Yeah, so, I plan on sending this with the memo I have to send the city regarding the 33,000 that I'm gonna talk about at the
Okay.
budget committee meeting, so, yes, I planned on sending
Okay.
them both at the same time. We just wanted, again, review it with you tonight, let you know what's going on, it's done, and we'll shoot it over to this week.
Ellen, you have a question?
I know we don't have to do a motion to bring it to the full board, but it'll be part of your report in the full board meeting that this is what transpired.
It'll be part, you want it to be part of my report, you're saying?
Well,
We can, I
isn't
can,
that, I mean.
yeah, I can
just
certainly
to-
say
to
we
have
shared it.
Because this is just subcommittee,
Sure.
just so everyone.
Not a problem. We can-
Sure, I'll put it as, you want me to put it as an agenda item for the
Just,
full board meeting?
just
Absolutely.
information.
Yeah, there you
Of
go,
course.
just that you sent it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the 24-25 review and approval of the capital? No. Okay. Moving on, let's go to project updates.
Okay, I'm gonna hand these out. I'm sorry they're not in the packet, but just take one and pass it along. And should be enough. Yeah, it is. That's the other one. Yes, it is.
Rachel, don't get in your.
Pass one over, turn
Oh,
over.
they took the other one off their printer.
Yeah, I do have another one, but I'm not sure if we can do that in executive
Yeah.
session. That has to do with that.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, so everybody got one? Oh, look at that. Excellent.
One extra down here, I grabbed
Can we
two.
give it to?
She got it.
Oh, she has.
She
one?
got
Okay.
Question, Jim?
I'm good. Oh,
So I'm trying to figure out the best way to present how we're doing things, and this seems to be it. I want to refine it a little bit more as we keep going by adding also the facilities number out of our facility study, that number like I did on the 24-25. I haven't done it on here yet, but that's my goal, and I think this is the cleanest way to show everybody the projects that we're doing and where we are with them as far as bids, completion, money we have left, money we don't have left, so forth and so on. So that's why I added it to this, because once I start, we'll talk about the 4-year, but once I start doing that, I'm saying this is much easier to explain it with you, having it right in front of you guys. So I plan on handing this out every meeting to show you where we are. We don't have to go
Love
through all
this.
of them, I just want to go over a couple of changes here. The last
Very
meeting,
helpful.
the window replacement, the window coverings for Vogel Wetmore, I got another bid. I went out and got another bid, and I got it, we got it down $16,896 less than the previous bid. So we're in much better shape on that, and I want to get that out, and get that into the contractor's hands as soon as possible, so I plan on getting a purchase order off that relatively quick. We're still a little bit over budget on that particular job, but instead of 20,000, we're only 5,000. So we did pretty well on that. The next one underneath it, replace fire alarm, that is, nothing has changed in that. The contract will be written by the end of the week to get that going. The emergency lighting upgrade, again, that's out to bid, that is due back on 4/24. So that went out on 4/4, so we're expecting that to come back to get some bids on that. And there's a couple that are tied in with that, so I won't go, there's 2 schools that we're doing with that particular scope of work. Emergency lighting and exit sign upgrades are combined. They put the schools together, so we'll be getting one price to do 2 different schools. And again, on replace window covering Southwest, we were able to knock it down another $7,600. So now, we're actually under budget on that one, so that worked out well. And I'm just scrolling down here, nothing else really has changed on any of this, as far as work that went out. The next one I want to get out is, if you look at Vogel Wetmore, Carpet Media Center, that was the final, I got a different contractor involved on that one, and we were able to shave a lot of money off of that, $11,399 off of that also. So, just by getting it up to bid to a couple of different people, I've been able to find some, contractors that are doing it for less.
That's great.
So, we'll get those purchase orders out, as soon as possible, so we can get the work set. I'm trying to nail a lot of this work, obviously, for summertime. This coming week, we have a lot of different things going on in the buildings. A couple that are on this list, some that aren't. Our middle school 4-year project is, should be in full bore on Monday, and we should be in pretty good shape for Friday, so we don't have to have any impact on the school. There might be a few things, now that we're digging into it a little bit, there's a few details that we might have to come back to do, but nothing major as far as major construction. So the install lock foyer, there's something to talk about on that, but again, I'm not sure if you want to do that now. Yeah, so anything else I know you have questions about, I'd be happy to answer.
I have one fast one. The window coverings, that's awesome savings. Is Olson Backman quoting the exact same?
Yep.
Same brand and everything, or is it just a spec?
Same brand.
Oh, that's awesome.
Same here.
Thanks, team.
Okay, any other questions on this agenda item?
I like the
For project
format.
updates. All right, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the locked foyers, inviting in, I guess, who doesn't need to be.
I
I
would
don't
say
know
you-
who should come in, who should not, to be honest
Dean.
with you.
Both superintendent, assistant superintendent. And because it's security, Scott, because there's money involved. I think that's all,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
always
it's
be allowed
security,
to.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll try to be quick.
So,
Second.
In favor?
Talk to my office, brother.
Yeah,
Seriously,
help
I'm not
yourself,
joking.
he does tons of Dave, I have a question on this
And
before
we're
you,
starting off with a question.
yes, before we go forward. So as you said, the next two items are the project updates and bid updates. Is that what this is?
You can call both, yeah, because the bids.
Because you have the bid information on here. I mean, I really like this format.
So
This is
project
something we've been
and bid,
asking for
it's both.
years. Just having it written down like this.
So
Oh,
this
sorry.
is
Years.
project and bid,
Yeah, so this is where we are with the project, so,
and it's also the bid updates?
yeah, so if you look at,
So
if you look
basic.
at, for instance, let me explain a little bit better.
Yeah.
If you look
Love
at the
it.
first one, the water heater, okay, $15,000 was in the budget. I actually spent $6,500, so there's $8,500 difference, and that's why I kept it green. If you look down to rebuild the original front entrance, $120,000. I carried that over. I didn't get a hard bid on it, and I just carried it over. So that's where that comes in. Until I get hard bids, then I'll put the green in there, and we can actually see the actual. That's what
Okay,
it's
so this
actual.
takes care of both agenda items.
Mhm.
That's- Okay.
Yeah. And it's easy to refer to, easy to look at and follow what's in there.
Yeah, so then next month we can keep it together.
So, should I keep going?
Yeah.
So the one thing that is not in there is, and we sent it out as an addendum, and I want you guys just to take a look at it, absorb it. There's a lot of information in here. It's about this retro commissioning, project that,
It was very interesting
we're
though.
going to be, hopefully we're gonna be doing at the Torrington Middle School. Cost savings, energy savings. And it also gets a little bit closer to the indoor quality stuff that we're talking about also. So once I get that indoor quality quote in there, and if we decide to go with this, it's gonna work hand in hand. I'd actually have to let those guys know that we're doing this type of work. So it's not necessarily the same,
Who's those guys?
whenever we
The
get the bids in
state?
for indoor air quality. So I don't know, that's out to
Or
bid.
the, oh, okay.
So when I say, so this is Eversource and Siemens is working together. That's our BMS program up there, and Eversource obviously is our energy program. And this is how they kind of put this together. By making some adjustments to the HVAC system out there. In here, it'll show you the savings. And it'll give you a time frame on payback, what we're actually doing. But just keep in the back of your mind, a lot of it is indoor air quality. So.
Yeah,
without
and
getting
you
into
can
a
tell
lot of
just by
details, you
reading
gotta
it.
really read it first, and then I can answer any questions hopefully. And I will have these guys come out and give a presentation. So you absorb it. If you say yes, I'll have them come to the next board meeting and we'll do a presentation on it. Because there's the actual work, and there's actually, they actually have a financing plan that Eversource will do also that. Decision has to be
Yeah,
made on.
that was good.
So for those of you that were here, is this similar to, we had the Johnson
No.
Controls guy come in, right?
I was thinking the same thing when I started reading it, but it's not the solar thing that they tried to.
No, it wasn't necessarily solar. They do a whole
Oh, 'cause we had
energy
a
audit, and they basically say they're gonna give you a guaranteed savings over X number of years. And they're gonna give you that savings if you invest in the stuff that they recommend, and the Siemens guys are gonna push Siemens products and so forth.
No,
But
I
they
was.
guarantee you that savings over a certain period of time, if you spend the money.
I'm more inclined to
fixed.
think that if Eversource is offering us savings, that we might actually get it. Because it's Eversource, but I know what you're talking about. We also had a similar, I didn't sit through that Johnson Controls, but we had a, do you remember the, solar presentation we had a few years ago? It was a nightmare. But it's not, this isn't like that. I just want to clarify, this isn't along those lines at all. And it doesn't look, I didn't understand the bottom line price, and not to spend too much time on this, but it, off the top of your head, where were we at?
Our cost,
Yeah,
yeah.
was it 289?
That's the total cost,
Yeah,
that's
so-
not our cost.
So that
138
wasn't
comes
our
back from
total
Eversource.
cost.
I have to find.
It was
They're-
minimal.
It's like one.
They're
140.
offering a lot of
Cost
money
you the
and
When you read it, we can talk about it.
It's a,
0%.
So why don't we-
retro-
Yeah,
Since it
Okay.
just came out, why doesn't everybody take the next month to review this, and then we'll put it on the topics for future meetings, so everybody has a chance to digest it and come up with questions?
So,
exactly why we
and when are you
Yeah.
looking to implement?
gave it. to
well.
Or
they-
get an
they-
answer?
So their letter of agreement, it lasts, and I know we can adjust it, but just to let you know, they, whatever, they give you a couple, 30 days.
We are a little bit on the clock with
Yeah.
respect that this is money that they're getting, so the money dries up at a certain point, so that's why this program has a, you You have to get started day
frame.
5, so.
Unless I just schedule these guys to come into the next board meeting. You guys absorb it and then have your questions when they come in?
It's both. The funding source for this is an Eversource Energy Savings Fund. So it's on the books until a date and or when the funds are exhausted.
Mhm.
So it's like 138,000. There's also a distressed community bonus that's in there.
Yes.
And some of those distressed community funds are separate from the conglomerate Eversource bill funds. So there is a limited time to deal with it.
So is this something we need to move to the full board so that we
I mean,
can
the full
charge
board,
on with it?
the full board meeting's in 2 weeks. Yeah. So I don't know if we can get them in here at the full board meeting, but that's something.
Yeah, I don't know
that
that we
you can
wanna
think
do that.
about
What,
if-
can you give us the time frame, the date on, so that we know what time frame? When does that letter expire?
I gotta read it in here, I forget what they said.
All right, and then, I mean, you don't have to tell me right now, but if you can let us know, and then we can plan on whether it be a special meeting to have them come in if anybody has questions.
So participants
the next
accepted
facilities
by
meeting
November 30th, 24th, failure to participate, that's not it, that's actually.
We'll find out, we'll get it in the morning.
All right.
And,
Unless you find it first.
All right,
Yeah, it's
I
in-
can, I'll go through it when, yeah, I have more time, I'll look at it again tonight.
There is just a question that we probably need to know for the next meeting. It is stated in their review that there was some work done in 21-22 that was not completed. So does another vendor owe us a completion of a project? So the upgrade of the building management system says it wasn't completed in their summary. So does another vendor who we've paid owe us a completion of the upgrade of the BMS?
So in their summary, they're saying this stuff,
Yes.
they said they couldn't complete it because they couldn't get the data on it.
No, it says that it wasn't done during the pandemic. It's on like page 3 or 4.
Yeah.
The other questions, I mean, we can ask on the next one to
Okay.
those guys, but that was just one that there may be a Board of Education. Somebody may have an obligation to us to finish something we've paid for. I don't know the funding source. I wasn't here for that,
Yep.
Wouldn't surprise me.
but it does mention it.
Take a look.
Mr. Kisco?
Just to look at the calendar, the first meetings in May, committee meetings are May 1st. So if we switch policy and school improvement with facilities and budget, you could meet the week after the board meeting, if the board meeting is too soon. And if we don't want to put that on the board agenda until we've had a chance to talk about it in facilities.
Yeah, I don't think we wanna put it on the board agenda yet.
I like Mr. Kisco's
Yeah.
But we
idea.
could put it
Switch 'em.
on, we could switch those meetings, so you
Yeah.
could meet on the 1st.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because it's.
and then you could have you could talk more about,
but that's still putting us in third week of May before it gets to the full board.
well,
You could have your special Zoom meeting.
correct.
Yeah,
5-minute meeting.
if we need to have a
Once it's
5-minute
been
meeting to vote on
discussed
it,
in budget,
so he can move forward.
or in this committee.
We could even plan something like May 2nd if we have to make
Wow.
it, to vote.
The full board?
Yeah, we could do like a Zoom meeting
Okay.
if we wanted to move forward with it.
So this says it needs to be installed by the participant
Yeah.
and accepted by November 30th. So installed by November 30th.
Well, does the letter of agreement last that long? We'll take it offline, because we're at 7 o'clock, we have budget people coming and look, but,
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, Mr. Kisco had just flipped.
Yeah,
it.
flip the
So you-
meetings,
then
yep.
It's plenty of time for us to move it,
mhm,
I think,
Yeah,
that's
we'll
just my
talk
opinion.
offline about switching and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could check with, well, you have John here, I'm sure Gary could switch, I wouldn't worry too much about that, you guys could switch off.
Okay.
All right,
Oh, that's in this,
It's, Dean, if you need it, it's page 11. The note is on 3.15, page 11, under BMS.
That's why Dean and I will get it.
Oh, that's something that he's talking about.
but
Unless somebody tells us.
but again, I'll-
So let's absorb this and come back.
Jeff, what page you say?
It's page 11 of 50, but it's page 7 in their document. But you'll see it's 11 of 50 in the packet.
Okay.
First paragraph.
Got it. Okay.
Any other questions on that? All right, we have a plan. Topics for future meetings. Start with you, Rachel.
Okay, So, I would like to come back and give you all an update on that new inventory and invoicing system that I kind of touched on, during my presentation. Pretty excited about it. I think it's gonna help a lot. There is quite a bit of implementation, but, one of my technicians and I, Eric, are working very hard to get it up and running as quickly as possible. So I'd like to give an update on how that's going next time.
We just call it inventory system, is that?
Sure.
Okay. That work? Okay.
Um,
And this is in addition to your normal social media thing, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Another thing is, I'm looking to update our website, possibly going with a different vendor. Just give it kind of a fresh new look, and
Yay.
you know, maybe make it a little more user friendly on the back end. It's been expressed that it's not quite user friendly on the back end. So Marissa and I have actually met with a few vendors already. We plan to meet with a few more to make, you know, an informed decision on that. So hopefully we'll have somebody picked out. And then I don't know if this is exactly a topic, but I wanted to put it on the radar, the protection plan revision, so that, you know, we can go over that, and that's probably more of a policy thing. But, you know, just so it's on everybody's mind that might, a discussion about it might come up, and then it would have to go to policy.
Is that more of a policy topic or a facilities topic?
I wasn't
Protection
sure,
plan
that's
is-
why I kind of,
It's probably, it starts in technology would be my guess, and then to sort it out, like what,
Okay, fair enough.
so I figured.
it's kind of
I'd-
both, but the technology
Yeah.
part gets sorted out first,
Right,
and then the
Yeah.
financial implication would go to.
right.
Just like the website update would also come to budget.
Okay, yep,
Okay, that's it.
that's all I have.
Dean, what are we adding in for you? What would you like?
So we'll continue with the updates on the bid and projects going forward.
Capital and projects?
Yeah, and, I guess the Retro Commission, you know, put that in.
That was that last addendum?
Yep.
Put that on there?
Yep. Put X Commission.
What do you call it?
You can call it X Commission, Retro X. letter X,
Retro X Commission.
Or just X Commission.
I thought X was taken.
Yeah, X is the name.
I thought it was.
Of a small child. Yeah,
What is it?
it is, X is the name of a small child.
Oh, isn't that Twitter?
Anything
now?
else? Anybody else
Yeah.
have anything they'd like to talk about?
You're supposed to be the tech guy, Jeff.
Building administrators, anything like
X is
any
Elon
buildings
Musk's
you wanna
son.
bring up?
Nick, is there anything that you
Now's the
guys,
time.
you need to bring up?
I got nothing.
Okay,
No?
We're glad he's here.
yes.
Alright, Alright, that's all I have, then, comments for the good of the order. Start with you, Ellen.
Great meeting, a lot of information. Thank you, a lot of work being done, and can't wait to read this whole thing.
Homework.
Yeah, great, man, I love the format about the new capital, that's great, thank you.
Oh, so here, we go around the room at the end of the meeting, and if you want to say anything, this is the time for open comments, so you could say
I got
anything.
nothing, I'm just learning.
Okay,
right?
yeah, so sorry, yeah, so that next time you could say, you
All
know,
set.
great meeting or whatever,
Okay.
yeah, all set, nothing.
Great
We'll
meeting.
teach
Thank
as
you,
we go.
everybody.
Yeah, great meeting, guys.
I didn't know you well enough to throw a note, so.
Welcome, Nick. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nick, and, excuse me, thank you for sitting in the superintendent's chair on your first meeting. So, good seat to pick.
Poor Nick.
You know, I
he's
did
never
ask,
coming
can I sit
back.
anywhere?
Good meeting, thanks.
Yeah.
How's that?
A lot of good information tonight, thank you.
Shelley, you back there?
Oh, great meeting, thank you.
Good meeting, and I do, this format of this right here is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, Good meeting.
Very efficient meeting.
Thanks. Marissa, would you like to say anything?
Yes, Dean is very organized. I love his charts, so
Look at that.
So tomorrow morning.
Very organized. So
Jason,
Dean's
well
gotta buy
done,
coffee now?
Marissa's a quick learn.
Then who's on the call?
Josh, is Ed online?
Yeah, I'm here. I have nothing to add though.
Who's there?
Okay. All right, thank you. Motion to adjourn.
So moved,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:05.
Is that really his kid's name?
who's,
What does that tell you?
Right.
We're live? All fake.
Call to order this budget meeting at 7:11 PM. Roll call, we have Mr. Berger, Mr. Putnam, me, Mr. Cronin, Ms. Rinaldi, and everyone. else.
Jason's on the phone. Mr.
And
Lafreniere's
Jason,
on the
Mr.
phone.
Lafreniere's on the phone.
I stayed home today.
Hey, Jason.
Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling great.
Good.
Just after that last meeting with long executive session, I decided I was zooming it in.
Good call.
Wow,
Good
wow.
call.
So you can get your laundry done?
I can get correcting done.
There you go. Okay, approval of the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor? Approval of the minutes, first, 3:13.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3:18.
So moved. Humbly.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I think also, Mr. Corey, are you still on the line?
I am.
Okay, thank you. Any public participation?
There is not.
None. Okay, we'll skip that. Discussion and next steps, monthly financials. Take it away, Scott.
Sure, thank you very much. Just want to give an audit update first, because everybody's really been working together. It's been nice to see. We're definitely ahead of the curve. Had another conversation with the auditors just to make sure that we're, because it's really not our audit, it's really the city audit. We're just part of it. But I just want to make sure that the city nor the CLA audit firm is waiting Brennan from us, and it's not. The city seems to be staffed really well now, and we've been having communications and turning any requests around, in 48 hours, which is really good. And so I think everything's coming together. They're out to do field work, I think next week and the week after, but don't anticipate anything there. So I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed, because there's a lot of people that are involved with it that actually have to not drop what they're doing to get the information, but do a turn it around rather quickly, and everybody's been doing that. So it's really been great. On the monthly financial side, I just want to add on the first sheet that the bill not received, that number is an actual number now, and it was 11,079.42, which we'll be adding to the building use revenue year to date, and you'll see that reflected.
How much was
Next.
it, 11?
$11,079.42. Those were the deposits that were made this week.
Okay.
I wanted to say something out, and it just flew out of my head. So as far as the monthly financials, the sheet that we go over every month, I'll go over that now. I really have, there's, not that it's been boring, but I really have nothing to call out, which is a good thing, which I think is a good thing as far as budgetary and financial report goes. Everything is still the same. Our overtime, we seem to have gotten under control. We're working with all the department heads. I met with Sue this week. I met with Rachel this week. Dean's bothering me all the time about his budgets, and it's done a really good job of what we need and what we don't need. So I feel really good about the spending up to this point. We're starting to also look at how we think we're going to end the year. So we're just kind of getting into that now. I did make a couple notes on the third page, 3 of 5. Just the student transport, in case anybody asked about that, it's 70,000. That's really the homeless, and I've spoken about this in previous meetings. That's the homeless busing. That's just, it's very sad, and we just didn't budget because we didn't expect that
We had a
much.
lot this year.
Unfortunately, this year. So Again, and that's also the summer school, which is only a small portion of that, but I just missed that last year on the budget. And then also just to let everybody know again, if you go to page 4 of 5 under the tuition, the 5564, that's the expulsions. So Laura will be happy with me that I brought that up because that's the just for the expulsion. And then for the also on the if we turn the page to the natural gas, the 5621, I just want to bring up again that that's really the high school has an encumbrance of $130,000 there, and that's just so we can get the payments to them quicker, so they don't flip the switch on us. So there's really nothing new here. I like the way we budgeted, and also on the certified and the non-certified side. We did a big project when I first came here. Ed was working on it with the Kina, and we just kind of piggybacked on it, and so we have a lot easier visibility. You guys don't see the line by line granularity that we do, and between the grants and the general fund, we have that. I like the way I don't want to use the word in control now, but I like the visibility, and we know where everything is now, and so if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah. I just want there's a $40,000 credit in 5210. Is that just a credit, or is that in addition? Is that above and beyond the monthly premium we've been sending? It's page 2.
You know what? If I had my laptop, I'd tell you what that is, and I looked at that today, and I'm drawing a blank right now. I will let.
If it was 40, or if it's actually 1.4 million, because normally usually there's an encumbrance payment of 1.3-ish there, but now it showed a 40,000. But usually there's a payment on that line for 1.3 million or so, and then it shows a 4. And usually it's explained that hey, we have there's credits or various things that go against that payment. So I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's an even 40,000. I know that I looked at it. I'm just drawing a blank right now. You're right. There is a credit there.
So,
and I will.
So look into it and get us back to us.
I'll have to look into it and get back to you. I don't have my laptop.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm actually going to look at it tonight, but
Yeah.
Just get some sleep tonight.
but I will email Ellen first thing in the morning.
Thank you. Anyone else? Jason, anything?
All set, thank you.
All set. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Go ahead.
Next one?
Yep, next one.
Okay, sorry. So what I had sent out is we had an open PO. It has a long backstory. I won't bore you too much, but at some point, not at some point, we had a PO for over $200,000. They were for the smart boards, and everybody remembers, or who wasn't here, we didn't have issues. I don't know the adjective I want to use, but we had to go out and have the company come back out and measure each classroom because some teachers wanted them to move, so we had to, which was an additional expense and additional PO. So another PO was written in, and there is also what we call these modules, which is the computer behind them, and that's as far as I'm going to go with the technology update, because it's a little over my head after that. So, and then we had some transition between our IT and the IT. Rachel's predecessor just created a new PO for the 30,000 and spent that money on another PO, leaving this PO open. And so it's ultimately on me that this is still open, but I had asked our ITs, our former IT, sent a couple emails on if you could let us know what this is. So it's truly just got lost in the transition. It should have been on our, on what we turned back to the city that they ultimately gave us on our capital a couple months ago. I wrote up another memo that's gonna go forward to the city, saying that this is what we found. And if you could, I have, I'm almost positive they'll just, at the next meeting, they'll let us put it into our capital account. They'll vote, the Board of Finance will vote to put it in our capital account. And that's the end of it. So ultimately, I know the root cause. I won't get into the whole, but it falls on me because I should have. And I was reminded of it a few times. So
Thank you.
A lot going on at that
yes,
point in time.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
So all the boards and all the sliding things are received and installed, correct?
as far as 2022, 2023 spending, yes, they are.
Okay. Is there more to be completed or done?
No, not to my knowledge.
I think what,
We didn't do it
as
all.
far as I know, whatever was requested was delivered.
And installed?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Jason?
And thank you, because I brought up the non-moving boards, and now having them moving is amazing. It really does add to the ability to instruct. My one question, Scott, just I guess to clarify, is there was already a purchase order put out there, but then a second one happened to be put together and was paid out through that one. So the first one was outstanding until you noticed it.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? That was quick.
Did you crush it?
Okay. Anything else that you need to
That's all I
add
have.
for the,
Thank you.
okay,
And I'll follow up on the credit and health and life insurance line.
okay, and then you can report back at the next meeting.
Yep. Or yes,
Or you can send it to me and I can send it out to the committee, whatever.
sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Okay, so topics for future meetings, we're gonna have the financials and the retro X commission presentation at our next meeting. Yes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Okay,
Did we decide that?
well, we'll discuss
Okay.
between
Just let
chairs
me
if
know,
we
I'll
can
call them and I'll
switch.
just schedule it. You tell me.
Yeah,
to
as soon as
schedule it.
we can, we'll have to talk to
The
Gary.
retro X thing? I
Yeah,
thought that was going in our meeting. In facilities.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's.
just
We
me.
don't need
Oh,
to
but
have
it
it on
still
both
has
agendas.
to- but it
Something
still
you were
has
gonna
to come-
talk about, something you were talking
it
about.
still has to come to us for budgetary purposes, right? So you have to do the presentation, then we have to make sure that
It would
can
have
be-
to be,
Where's
either that or
mine
you
coming
can
from?
combine it and he can just move it to the full board instead of having to talk about it again in the budget meeting. I mean,
It's all the same people.
because it's all,
Right.
right, yeah.
so you could just,
Or we can say, you know,
Do it at one time.
facilities recommended the budget and the budget recommends to the full board.
Perfect.
We can, sound like a plan?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I
then,
don't know, I don't know if we want to put the current 24-25 budget on the agenda for the next meeting, because I'm sure
Yes.
based on,
yes,
because we'll have some maybe
Feedback
questions
at the
to
end of the
answer or
week.
feedback, yeah.
Yet another reason to move the budget meeting to a week
to the,
earlier.
Yeah.
yeah.
but those are the only things I could think of for agenda items.
Okay. And then anything that might come up, are there any like, contracts that are going to be renewed like around this time of year? That might be able, if you could just take a look, if it
I
needs
thought
to,
you
it
did
can go
that.
on the agenda.
No,
There are some.
Yeah.
There
for
are
now,
some,
for
so
this
if you
year,
could-
this,
Yes. Yeah, I
So if
got
you could let me know and then we can put it on the agenda,
it. Okay.
that would be great.
I know on my end there are.
that go to
Yeah, I mean, I
budget,
know-
or it would go to facilities and then budget, right?
For,
Are they large service contracts?
Oh, yeah, that kind
it
of.
usually went to just budget, I thought.
Are they-
Sorry, say it again.
Would it go, I guess it depends on the contract, doesn't it? I
Is
don't
it a
know if
large
it goes to
service
facility
contract
So I
or,
got BMS contracts coming up, I got pest removal, there's a few of them coming up.
With a copier contract. I mean, we should do it together, however,
So I don't know where
You all
we're at.
decide what committee meeting you wanna do.
If
All
it's if it's not a contract renewal year, and it's just within the contract that's already been approved, then it would just come to budget, to answer your question, Glenn. If it's a contract renewal year and we're out to bid and reviewing contracts, then it would have to come to facilities first.
Correct.
But to expedite it, if it's a year 2 of a 3-year contract and it's a monetary move, then it would just be a budgetary committee.
Agreed. So
So,
we're talking about renewals though, right?
I don't know about renewals, so our BMS.
A
program
renewal
and stuff like that.
Renewal year 2 of
Yeah,
5?
is it a renewal,
Or-
is it a 5-year contract, 1-year contract? We'd have to look at that, yeah.
Like it's
so
an
take a look
extension,
and
or
then
is it
just see
a?
what needs to
Exactly.
be.
Yeah.
If you could do one of your nice little charts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
We have to look at that, because if it is brand new, then it has to come as the
Through
new
facilities.
contract
Right, it
language
has to
that
go
we
to
want.
facilities first and then, yeah, good.
Yeah.
good.
So I
Because
don't know
we've
if I
already
could do this in
boilerplate
my
it.
meeting, but for facilities, why don't we just throw it on the agenda now for contract review? It's on our agenda in case we have to. If there's nothing to talk about, we just pass it.
Since we have to change the next meeting, I don't know if we can do this. Since we have to change the next meeting, can we just change it to a special meeting of, because it has to be special anyways.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, to switch them, to switch
No,
dates?
to switch dates, it
Switch
doesn't have to be
dates, you-
special.
no.
What date are we talking about, by the way?
Just can you make it a combined
May
meeting?
The
Because it sounds
first
like most of
Wednesday
the
in
topics
May.
are, we can make
That I
it.
don't know if we can do.
We tried to do that
We
last
did.
year and we
Sure.
got kind of.
It didn't really
Yeah.
We got
work
squashed.
that well.
Yes.
It's worth
I
a
forget
shot.
what the conflict was. but-
Yeah. And I think it had to do with just more of the meeting schedule,
It would be May 1st.
because they were
May
two
1st?
separate
Yeah,
meetings.
first Wednesday in May.
Is that why?
You have to hold them at those
Right, right,
same
The
times.
same.
Oh, man.
right. We can switch the days because we've done it before. And you can also switch like the order.
That might be a
Which
tough
day?
day for me. actually. I don't know.
Psychically connected.
That's all right.
I think I might have a college visit.
Sue will preside over the meeting for you.
You have a college, that one though, we gotta,
I don't know.
if it's not,
Yeah, I don't know.
the first, yeah, can
Go
you
ahead,
let us
charge on
know?
with whatever and we'll see what we do.
Okay,
I'll
we'll
let you
talk,
know.
we'll talk offline.
Or are you,
Okay.
on the May
Is there anything else that we need to add to the agenda?
Anything else you're adding to the agenda?
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm good.
Okay, comments for the good of the order. I'm gonna start with Glenn.
Glenn, see, Jason, this budget is so efficient, he made up for that long executive session, so I hope you're happy. All right, excellent.
Sure, yeah. Short meeting, good.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Jason?
When is the, I'm just wondering, and if email's gonna go out to staff about the Board of Ed presenting the budget to the city. I think that would really be helpful to promote that for staff to show up wearing red if possible. And thank you for a very efficient meeting, and I'm glad I stayed home.
Ed, do you have anything to add?
No, great meeting. Thank you.
23rd.
Scott?
No, thank you. Great meeting.
Sue?
Great meeting, thank you, Ellen.
Michael?
Great meeting, thank you.
Great meeting. You continue your streak of efficiency.
John Kisco, better look out.
Yeah.
Melissa? I think it was a great meeting also.
You
Motion
didn't
to
ask
adjourn?
yourself, though.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
7:29.
Oh, that's all.